guys, welcome to Brighter Dayz. I'm Michelle. Danielle's coming. I want to introduce you to Colleen, Joy Fairy.
Hi.
She's a very good artist and has a large following. So I'm gonna give it over to her and just tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do.
I'm Colleen. I run a group on Facebook called Joy Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
We are a bunch of people who are into creating joy around us and working with the laws of attraction to manifest our dream lives and create happiness around us.
Yeah, I love that. That's the whole intention of the show. We're trying to keep people positive in trying times, or pretty much any times, like to kind of live the life that you're supposed to be living instead of just surviving. Colleen, why don't you tell me about what first got you into it or what inspired you?
I was working at a hospital and just doing crazy hours. I had just recently been separated from my husband, a single mom.
Like out of nowhere?
Out of nowhere, very shocking. All of a sudden, my entire life that I knew was completely upheaved, and I was working with a lady who really just had it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just, from the way she presented herself to just when you spoke to her, like, you could feel she just was genuine and she was happy with herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she just exuded all these characteristics, and not only internal, but as well as in the material world, because let's face it, we live in the material world. When we have nice things, yes, we all want inner peace and happiness and joy, and those are things we need to have their things, but when we have nice things, it creates happiness, right?
Exactly.
So she had this beautiful home, and she was generous with the people around her, and me in particular. She took me on she was a woman who was probably 20 years older than me. She took me on like a daughter, and she just, one day, she gave me a copy of the movie The Secret by Ron Byrne, and she said, watch this, and I wanted what she had. I watched her and envied her, and she said, watch it, so I watched it. And
did it make you cry? Or did it?
When I watched it, it was, at first when I put it on, it was like, it comes on and it's very metaphysical, and you hear this music in the background, and now I'm like, all right, what does she have me watch? And then I listened to what the lady's saying. Instead of just judging it, I opened, and something within me was like, this is what you've been waiting for.
Exactly.
And it just resonated with me, that when I'm miserable, all these horrible things happen.
And repeatedly, and
it's not even just repeatedly, and it's snowballs. So it's like this little bad thing happens, the next thing, and then we talk about it in the movie The Secret, it's a stub toe day. You stub your toe when you get out of bed, and then then the toothpaste is on your t-shirt, and then you ding your car, and then it's just traffic. And next thing you know, I lost my job, and now and it's just, and we blame it on all of these outside things instead of realizing that scientifically, we emit frequencies. And if you're emitting frequencies of anger and anxiety and fear and lack, then you are just creating that, because what you think about is what you bring about for yourself. So she gave me the movie. I watched it. I think part of the way, maybe a quarter of the way through, I was stopping and getting a notebook, and I was writing everything down, and anything, just soaking it up, I couldn't get enough. And then that brought into my journey of I can feel, and you just you just start listening to all these people, and it really resonates.
One after another, they just happen to come to you, and people happen to bring it up. I've been noticing lately, I've been hearing so many movies mention it in one way or the other, or I'll see a sign or things, and it's it doesn't just give it to you. You gotta work to see it sometimes, but sometimes things come to you like a hammer on the head.
Definitely. The universe will be like, hey, here. But then there's times where you're like, is this a sign? But I didn't even though I was writing everything down and I was really like listening to it, I was trying to practice it. It was, I lost my full, I lost hope. I did when you get to the believe part, right, so you ask for what you want, right? You're like, I was desperate, all right? And this is a problem. I'm watching the movie and it's telling you, you know, ask for what you want, but it doesn't explain that, like, there's such an action part that needs to be done, right?
Yes.
So I wasn't understanding that I was doing actions, but I wasn't doing them intentionally.
Exactly.
And so when they actually came to light for me that the secret really did work, was I had lost nothing. My purse was stolen right before, it was like 2 weeks before Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
My purse was stolen from my break room at work, and it was like I had like $16 left, and they took it. I was a smoker at the time. They took my last pack of cigarettes, right? And that's like the worst part at that time. And I really just kind of gave up. So I had asked for what I wanted. I wanted money because I was a single mom. I needed money. I was desperate for money, really, and that was the problem again, that desperate feeling. And I asked for it, and then everything kind of just fell apart. And one day I got in my car to go to work, and I was practicing the secret. I was practicing the writing things down, and I was practicing the, you know, the finding some kind of spiritual connection and trying to feel good.
Right.
And I got my car and I just lost it. I used to get my car, and in the morning I would be like, okay, I'm so grateful for this. And I would list off all these things I was grateful for.
Like robotically.
Yes, yes. I was just robotically saying, I feel grateful for this. I feel grateful for this. And that's good, and it's good practice. And honestly, at the time, it takes me back to remembering I was touting a lot of fake it till you make it, like saying that to people because I knew what she was doing was working.
Right.
I did not feel it working for me, and I knew, so I kept saying,
feeling.
Yes, and I kept saying, I'll fake it till I make it. And then that morning, instead of getting in the car and being like, I just lost it. Like, I must have looked insane if my neighbors were looking out the window.
We all had the car crying.
Times,
yeah.
Like, universe, tell me show me. Tell me I'm doing this right. Like, I was taking my kids to a church because I needed somebody. I had two boys who were 3.5 years apart. They were like 8 and 11, and they were at each other's throats because everything in their life.
Tension.
Yes. And so we were going to this church, and so I'm trying to be, you know, some kind of spiritual connection, and I go in and I start crying in my car, and I'm pounding on the steering wheel, and send me a sign. I go to work, I come home. And then I get a call on the phone from a lady who was babysitting my son, who asked me to see her in my driveway. And she's like, Colleen, can you come out? And I need to talk to you for a minute. Now she's watching my 8-year-old. And my first thought is, oh, what did he do? Why does she not want to watch him anymore? Again, going to negative instead of assuming she'd have some good news for me.
Exactly.
So I get in her car, and she's like, hey, you know, you asked me to watch your kid, you know, for you so you can go to work. She had saved up all the money I had paid her. And she handed me a wad of cash. And
my gosh.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So here I am asking for money, asking for a sign, doing the work because I'm going to work and but not even realizing I'm doing the work. But I'm taking the action steps. I'm putting out good vibes. This lady feels my good vibe, and she wants to help me. Now the universe, when we ask for things and we do it from a really pure place, the universe,
it's like you just feel the burn right here when you get into that mode.
Feel the world spin sometimes.
Yes,
right?
Definitely.
And the universe just puts people in our path
to lead us the way.
Yes. And you don't even know they're in your path at the time. So you have to, honestly, you were part of that for me, because when I was asked to do this, I was like, well, I'm on a yes mission.
Right.
Because I know the universe is placing me where I'm supposed to be.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, let's
just be real about
like childhood trauma, right? Like, okay. And none of us are special, by the way. I mean, we're all special, but none of us are special as far as having traumas. everybody. I just show me one person who will tell you that they had this fantastic. I mean, you know, we all had joys, we all had tribulations. That's just
life,
human experience, right? And for me, it is the taking the lessons of those things. That's the shadow work. It's not sitting in. I don't need to dissect and relive every moment of something that happened. My biggest inspiration in my journey, besides like Rhonda Byrne, is probably Eckhart Tolle.
Right. Yeah.
I am just absolutely life altering. Right. Well, she was the start of my journey. And he just really kind of expanded my mind.
That's what I love about it. It's always something new to learn, and like Eckhart Tolle, like Neville Goddard really spoke to me. Like this is like old stuff. I was like, they were on this vibe like all the way back then, and why we're still things messed up. But then again, like there's only like I guess people tap into certain things. But I guess it goes all according to what you know and what you're exposed to, because a lot of people will say what we're doing, oh, that woo-woo stuff, or toxic positivity.
Well, it's so interesting because, okay, so I have a family member who is very conservative person, but I hate saying believes in law of attraction because it's a law. So you're either working with it or you're not. It's working whether you are working with it or not.
Right.
But he understands that it is there and he works with it. And he's an avid poster in my group. I'll just say it's my stepfather, and he's an insurance salesman. He wears a shirt and tie, and he absolutely lives his life by this. And think about people like Andrew Carnegie and Napoleon Hill. These were guys who wore shirts and ties, and they got it. Not everybody who understood it used it for wonderful purposes. And but now it seems like it's just this. That's taking over the metaphysical.
You could even say if someone even like Donald Trump understands it, because like you said, I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether or not he understands manifestation, because I don't know whether or not he. I don't know. I don't know if he understands much. He may have read about these people at some point, possibly. I don't know if he could grasp the concept of, because the concept is like you really truly have to feel joy and happiness and be, I mean, I'm sure he understands the grabbing opportunities, and that's one of the things. You and I spoke before this interview about like things that I felt were missing in The Secret, and the word attraction and law of attraction, right? Part of the word attraction is action. Action, exactly.
And it's just really not spoken very much about. It's kind of like this glanced over part of the believing, honestly.
That's how people get messed up and they say all this stuff and I'm just gonna believe I have a Lamborghini. Yes. It's like, oh, so I'm gonna just imagine a check, and so it's just gonna show up. And well, I grew up with Epic Man on TV. Does it happen? Yes. But more than likely you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to do something.
Yes. But what happens is when you've activated the law of attraction in your life, just like we talked about, opportunities just seem to present themselves. And that's totally practicing awareness and paying attention to what's happening around you. And
allowing. Yes, definitely. Yeah, well, I just love everything you said. We're like on the same vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about just feeling good, and when we all have that force field around us. It's funny because of COVID, with its 6 feet is our bubble, right? 6 feet is like how much you emit, like your personal vibe. So it's like this whole
conspiracy idea.
I'm trying to read everything without feeling, you can also get the vibes just from the room, but it's different. It's definitely changing how people
are
interacting with each other. Yes, I do tarot, and now instead of doing in-person readings, I'm doing virtual readings, and that was what change and but it's honestly a little bit better. I love doing in-person readings because the only time I do in-person readings now are with people who are in my bubble.
Right.
So of course I love that.
Right.
But the virtual readings are really neat because people are in their own space.
Right, and they feel more comfortable.
Yes.
Right.
So like I got lady like call me like we do a like on the Zoom or on Facebook, usually a messenger, and then she'd be like in her bathrobe and I'll be like, all right, I don't care, whatever, I'll wear my kitty pajamas in my ears.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time
You're
to
welcome.
interview with me.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks Megan over here for allowing me to use her beautiful abode.
And please check out my Facebook page.
Oh, yeah,
It's my, I have a group on Facebook called the Joy Fairy. And if you're interested in doing any tarot readings, and I do when I do my tarot readings, I speak a lot about the manifestation and mentoring through that.
Okay.
And that is called the Mystic Crow. And that's also on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Sparkly nights with Brighter Dayz. We're sitting here around the fire, drum pit. Say hi, everybody! Brighter Dayz. Sparkling nights and Brighter Dayz. Positive vibes. Got our crystals out. Make sure you put yours out tonight. Got that full moon. It's called like a worm moon.
Worm moon.
Yeah, worm moon.
Right. The moon's in Libra. Yes.
It's in Libra. She's a freaky one. I wasn't here earlier today, but Michelle was able to do a little interview with our Joy Fairy. How was that, Michelle?
It was great. It was very interesting and very enlightening talk. I think it got most of it cut off, but we'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll work it out in editing. I definitely want to connect with Miss Joy Fairy eventually at one point here soon. I connect with her a lot with her story of being a single mom when she was younger and getting gratification from shining light and bringing smiles to people. And knowing that even if you don't have any money, you can always bring a little light to somebody just by, sending them love or saying something positive about them. And
Right, it's always from the inside out. Don't be fooled by circumstance.
giving gratitude.
Gratitude's very key.
Giving gratitude back out for what you've already received, and that pretty much just frees up space to receive even more.
Right, exactly. Don't block yourself with rehashing the past.
Brighter Dayz. fire. You see that, Michelle? Okay. I just make sure I wasn't the only one that saw that. I saw that man eat fire twice. Look, he's gonna do it again. Eating it.
I wonder how it tastes.
Ow! Fire eating man. I got a whole bunch more fire right here. You hungry? Hungry for some fire.